If you've been feeling like every niche you try to break into on Etsy is overcrowded and there's no room for you, I'm really glad you're here because by the end of the video, you'll find out that's just not true. Today, we're going to find a trending niche together so you know exactly where to begin. I'll also show you how I pick mockups that convert, and I'll be sharing a description strategy I rarely see anybody talk about, but it can truly help with getting orders to your shop. And I've got a free tool I created to help you build listings in your shop that are designed to convert. Hey there, if you're new here, hi, I'm Dania. On my channel and in my online community, I help other Etsy sellers grow their shops like I did with both my digital download and my POD shops. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, and we're going to begin by hopping over into eRank to do our keyword research. From the keyword tool page, you want to only type in your product. You don't need to worry about niching down right now. We'll do that a little bit later, but because I'm going to create printable wall art today, I'm only going to type in wall art. From there, we're going to be shown a lot of really helpful data from eRank. Number one being that this keyword has been popular for the last week. We can see that there are 95,000 searches per month on average for wall art with 14.2 million competition. And yeah, those numbers are big, but remember, we only put in the product type. So we were very broad in our search, so we're going to get bigger numbers. But one of my favorite features about eRank is right here in the middle, the trend graph. I love it. I like it because it'll give you the historical data of a keyword over the past 15 months. So you can have a better understanding of how a keyword has performed for over a year. It can really help you be more strategic in how you want to proceed with that particular keyword. If we hover over April of 2024, we're being shown by eRank that keyword wall art has had over 101,000 searches in that month alone. It had a little bit of a dip here in May with 78,000, but it went back up again in August of 2024 with over 153,000. And then in June of 2025, it dropped down a bit, but typically it's a pretty good, healthy search volume. So that'll help you in determining how you want to pivot and how you want to navigate with your designing, adding items to your shop, and the direction of which you want to take your shop in. Now we'll head down to the keyword idea section, and that is where I have my 4 columns. You can choose whatever columns you want to show up here, but we're going to be working with the keyword column, the trend graph column, the search column, and the competition column. What I will do is I will click the arrows over here on that competition because I want to filter it from low competition to high competition. And now that we have it filtered from low competition to high competition, I want to give you a preface of what I'm going to be looking for when doing the actual research. So I'm really focusing here on the search trend graph because I'm looking for the prior month. So with eRank, it'll go up to the prior month. I'm currently filming the video in July of 2025. So we have data all the way up through June 30th of 2025. So if June is showing me that this particular search phrase came out of nowhere, there was no search volume at all for abstract stained glass wall art. And then all of a sudden in the month of June, it came out of nowhere. I'm gonna hover over it to see how many searches there were. There were over 1,500. That is a new and upcoming trend. That's a surefire way to be an early adopter and to begin to create that type of niche. That way you can be one of the few that are ahead of the trend. So it's interesting when a keyword has had no search volume and then all of a sudden it came out of nowhere. So that is primarily what I'm looking for. And I'm going to just continue making my way down. Now, I typically don't like to focus on the competition where it says unknown because I don't know what that means. That could be a lot of competition, it could be no competition, but I don't like to work in unknowns. I want a little bit more data. So I'm going to continue to come down until we begin to get actual numbers here. These are fewer than 20, and typically they're fewer than 20 for a reason. They could be trademarked, they could not make any sense. There could be a number of different reasons. So I'm going to continue to go down until we get out of the less than 20 area. And here we go. Now we have 23, and then we'll continue to go up from there because again, we have it filtered by low competition to high competition. So I see a green bar right here, and that keyword phrase is strip poker wall art. Oh, that's interesting, but I'm not really excited to make that. So I'll continue to go down, and I am only looking here at the trend graph column. It just can be a lot easier, and you can do your research a lot more efficiently. Let's continue to come down. We have Vienna Lyrics wall art. Don't really know what that is. Don't know if it's trademark. I'm not going to check. I'm just going to keep moving down. Una Lome wall art. Don't know, but you guys are doing this in real time with me. So let's see. We have Orion Nebula wall art. That's interesting. Huh. You know what, if there is something that does grab your interest, you can come right over here and you can click the little star button to come back to it later. So we'll click that for now. And this was really interesting too, because it had no searches at all, but then in May, it had over 1,100 searches. And then in June, it had 1,300. So it's going up. That one's really interesting. Let's continue to go down and see what else we have. We have another one where in May, the keyword phrase brown moody horse wall art had over 1,200 searches in May, and it did well again in June with over 1,100 searches. Now, this column here has a red, and typically with eRank, anything with a red is what you don't want to target, but keep in mind that that is the average searches over the last 15 months. So that means that it hasn't had any searches at all for 13 of the 15 months. So it's taking the average. So don't let that deter you. We can see here that the last 2 months, people are looking for it, and there's only 324 competition. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. I'm going to keep that one in mind as well. And I will try to find one more, and then we'll decide which one we want to go with today. Rustic orange wall art that had in June, oh wow, 2,000 searches. That's really interesting, and only 409 competition. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and star that one, and you will continue to do that until you found a few niches that you wanted to pursue a little bit further. But I'm going to come back with the one that we'll be creating for today. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that I created a free tool for you, and that's my listing optimization checklist. That way you can ensure that when you're adding items to your shop that you're implementing the best practices recommended by Etsy to help you have listings in your shop that are built to convert. If you want to grab your free copy, go ahead and leave the word checklist below for me in the comments, and I'll get that over to you. Okay, and the winner for today is going to be our brown moody horse wall art. It was a tough pick between the rustic orange and the horse wall art, but I did decide to go with the horse wall art because it had 2 months of proven data per eRank. Now what I'm going to do is go through page 1 of what shows up. I'm looking for any popular now badges, any bestseller badges, but I'm also looking for design inspiration too. And remember, this niche is very new, so it may not have a whole lot of the badges we're looking for. So I'm not going to put a lot of weight on it. I'm just going to keep an eye out for it. But I'm primarily looking at design inspiration. And the data down here that you're seeing, that is coming from Everbee, which is another research tool I use. And it's very powerful because it can show you how old a listing is. It shows you a lot of other information, but I like to see how old a listing is. I'm just not interested in listings that are like 4 years old. It's not going to do it for me. I want things that are brand new. And I do find it interesting too that we saw that eRank showed us that this is a new and upcoming trend, and look at the age of the top 3 listings on page 1. They're 1 and 3 months old, confirming that this is going to be a hot trend that's coming up. And then I'll continue to come down here. We have another 1 month old listing. These other ones are older, but I'm looking at the composition of the design and the colors, the elements that they're using. We have another 3 of the 4 here are 1 month. I like the floral here too. That's really pretty. I like that. I like how that one is just so clean and simple, and the horse is the main subject. I like it a lot. And I like that one. That was really nice. A little bit older, only 10 months, but a little bit older, but I like the luxurious feeling of that. That's a really cool video mock-up, by the way, too. That's really, really cool. Let's see. We'll continue to come down. More new listings. All of these are 1 and 2 months old. I'm looking at the mockups that they're using too. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. Now we're going to design our wall art. And to create our images for today, I'm going to be using one of my favorite tools, which is galaxy.ai. And the reason why I recommend it is because, especially if you're new to AI image creation, or you're on a budget, or you really want to get more bang for your buck, I recommend it because under Galaxy AI, you get access to all of these different AI image generators, which is incredible. That way you don't have to pay individually for each one. You get them all under one platform. Again, I'll have a link for you below. Before today, I want to use Ideogram, Leonardo, and Midjourney to see which one I like the best. I like to have options. So I will enter in the prompt that we'll be using for today, and I'll leave the prompt for you below in the video description as well. So I'm going to enter my prompt, and then I will meet you with the results that we got. And up first, we have Leonardo. I had to generate 2 images for me, so I didn't go through all of my credits, but that's really pretty. I like that. And then here's our other image. I like that one better. That's really, really pretty actually. Okay. And then we have Midjourney, and Midjourney, I got 4 different images and they all look very beautiful. There's image 1, image 2, that's really pretty. I do like that one. Ooh, image 3 is really nice too. This is gonna be a little hard to find my favorite, but we'll figure it out. And image 4, those came out very beautiful. Now let's see what we got from Ideogram, and I had to generate 2 images. It's okay. And I do not like that at all. And it added text down here, which I didn't ask for. So we are not going with Ideogram today. We have to make a choice between Leonardo and Midjourney. I think I like Midjourney better, and I'm torn on those 3 here, but I'll meet you when I make my decision. But we do need to go in and fine tune our design, and I'm currently in Kittle. From here, we're going to fine tune the design, going to make sure we have our measurements correctly. We're going to upscale it, and we're going to make sure that we have it saved at 300 dpi. To do that, you will want to begin by clicking New Project. And I want to create my own artboard with my dimensions that I'm looking for. So I'm going to be working in inches, because with wall art, we're working in inches. And so I will make the width 15 inches and then the height be 20. And then we'll save our DPI from 72 to 300 and then hit create. And then I'm going to bring in our wall art that we'll be working with for today. Okay, and I went with one of the Midjourney wall art designs. I thought this one was really pretty. I liked how it looked. And I've shared this before in other wall art tutorials, but when you're in Kittle and you need to resize your image, you want to hold down the shift button and then click and drag. That way you can manipulate your shape however you want and you won't lose any of your design. If I don't hold down shift and I just drag it out, then I lose my design. So make sure you're holding down shift, and then I'll make it fit the artboard exactly how I want it. Now I'm going to come right over here to the upscale button, and I'll click that to make our image even better quality. Okay, we have that upscaled, and I do like to add a little bit of a photo filter, add a little bit more oomph to my designs. You don't have to, but I typically hang out in the saturation and the vibrant section. Let me bring down maybe the brightness a little bit. It's okay, I'll leave it just how I have it. Nothing to overthink, and you do not have to do it. I'm a little bit extra, so that is why I do it, but I'm pretty happy with that. We don't need to do much of anything else to it. We made it more vibrant. We have it upscaled. Now I'm just going to rename it. And then we'll come here and download it. So I'm going to come back over here and make sure my measurements are all correct. We have it at 15 by 20 inches. I'm going to change it from a PNG to a JPEG and make sure that we have it saved at 300 dpi. And I will hit optimize quality because why not? And then we'll click download. Okay, and now we need to mock up our beautiful artwork, and I get mine on either Etsy or Creative Fabrica because they tend to have the better mockups. If you guys know by now, you know I'm a huge stickler for having beautiful, high quality mockups because they make the first impression in your shop. And if you have mockups that are not able to compete with your competition, people won't click on your items. If they don't click, you don't get orders. So I highly encourage you to take the time to look for beautiful quality mockups that are able to compete on the search pages because you want to get those orders. So I get mine either on Etsy or Creative Fabrica. I'm currently here on Etsy. I just typed in vertical wall art mockup, and we can scroll down and find a few that we like. And I did vertical because the design I created today is a 3x4. So that would be a 3x4 vertical mockup. And you can see here too that they're not terribly expensive. I mean, $2, $1.50, $1.60, nothing too high, and this was not even $1. So you can get beautiful high quality mockups, and that one's really, really pretty. This one here is actually a bestseller, only $1.29, and it is a bestseller, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna hop over into Creative Fabrica, and I typed in the exact same keyword phrase, just vertical wall art mockup, and let's see what we have from Creative Fabrica. And I'll have a link for you below for Creative Fabrica if you want to check it out as well. They have everything on there: graphics, fonts, wall art mockups, Tumblr mockups. They have courses on there. They have a lot of cool stuff on there. So I'll leave a link for you below. But you can grab a mockup on Creative Fabrica as well. So I'll meet you in Canva and then we'll get our image mocked up. And now we're going to get our image mocked up in Canva. I just brought in the wall art design here that I saved from Kittle. I brought it into a mockup that has a frame there, so it'll just pop right into place and the mockup is pretty much done. That's all you need to really do. But keep in mind the quality of the mockup and the look of it. There isn't a whole lot going on. There aren't a bunch of colors. It's very simple, very clean, and the artwork will speak for itself. It is front and center. It looks really good. So now what I want to do is just go to share at the top right, and then I'll download it as a JPEG file. This will only be the mockup image, so I don't need to make it 300 DPI or do anything like that. And so I'll click current page and then click done, download, and then we'll have our mocked up image. And now I'm going to show you how to use AI to come up with your very own amazing, compelling listing description that will help you get conversions. I'm back over into Etsy and I only typed in printable wall art, nothing too specific, just really the product type. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for the listings that have popular now and the bestseller badges. It doesn't really matter about the niche, it comes down to the product type. So I'm just gonna come down and there are a few here. We have a popular now, popular now, popular now. So I'm going to pull those up because those are the ones that I want to look at their description and take inspiration from those descriptions. So I did go ahead and pull up a few already for you. The key about it though is to make sure that you are researching the ones that are bestsellers and or have that popular now badge because they have it figured out. Their listing is clearly converting. So you want to model what you're doing after the people who have figured it out, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I did pull this one up here and we're gonna come right down to their description, and I'm just going to quickly look and see what they have, and anything that they like, I am just going to copy it. I do like that note about the high quality home printer to get the best results. It's a digital download. I do like that. I do like their measurements they have on here. They have how to download your files, they have FAQ too. That's really cool from Etsy. I do like that. How to print your files. Yeah, you know what? This is actually pretty good. And then we'll come down to this one here. And I do like that they have what you get. Oh, they have it broken down into centimeters too. That's really cool. And then they have how it works and then the coloring difference. Okay, very cool. So what I want to do is I'm only going to pull up 2. I do recommend that you look at about 3 to 5, but we'll just do the 2 for today. And I do have a chat opened up with ChatGPT, pretty much giving it context about what I'm doing, who I am, what I want to offer in my shop, and what I need its help with. So I'm going to go back to the first one, and I like that right here. So I'm going to copy that. And I want to be very clear, we're not strictly copying. We're just going to take it as inspiration. Please never copy anybody's description word for word, not at all. But if you're new to selling something or you're adding a new product to your shop, you do want to make sure that you're hitting all of the important parts that would go in that description. So I did like their note here that it's best to print it at home with a high quality printer. And I like that they are reiterating that it is a digital download. Nothing will be shipped to them. And we'll come down here a little bit. I don't love that formatting, but that is okay. And I do like here how they note how the customer will get their file. I do like that. I'm gonna hit Shift, Enter, and then paste it in there. And then what else do they have here? Oh, I like the how to digital download FAQ. I cannot highlight today. I do like that. So I'm going to Shift Enter and then I'll paste that in there. Let's see what else they have. Another note that it is a digital download. The colors may vary. I do like that. And digital items cannot be refunded. Please use your computer. I do like that. Okay. Okay. So I do like that they reiterate yet again that it is a digital item. Okay. I think that's enough from that description. And see, they have it reiterated here at the top on this one as well. And I do like how they have their ratios broken up into inches and in centimeters. So I do want to keep that. So I'll copy, shift, enter, paste. Okay. And then I do like those instructions here. This is very clear actually. And they have their conditions here. I'm not going to include that, but let's see. I do like that verbiage here. And if you give redundant information to ChatGPT, it's smart enough to know to not include redundant information. So that will be the last part that we enter into this. And then I'll hit the up button and then we'll see what we get from ChatGPT. So here we have our description. It looks really good. I like it. Okay, I like it a lot. But that would be the description strategy that I think can really help get conversions because it can address a lot of questions that a customer may have. When I'm doing shop audits, one of the main things that I bring to the shop owner's attention is that you don't want to leave any room for your customer to have any questions. You want to be able to address any questions that they might have to make them feel more confident with their purchase. Because if they have questions, they're just going to go to a different shop and move on. And we don't want that. So we want to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that we're providing the necessary information that our customer would need. Now that you've seen exactly how I research, design, and write a detailed description that will help with conversion, I'm hoping that you feel a little bit more confident that there is plenty of room for you on Etsy. If you want more done for you help, I do go deeper inside in my online community where I drop daily unsaturated niches, AI image prompts, and we have a monthly call, and we have so much more in there. We would love to have you. And don't forget that if you want my free listing checklist, go ahead and leave the word checklist below and I'll get that over to you. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.